Good morning, Digit fam. Adam Dowd here, starting off another week of tech goodies. I had a full weekend of fun and water slides, and it's time to start the week off right with a fistful of news about the world of tech. It is July 8th, 2019, and this is your Digit Daily. Today's top story isn't all that surprising to me. I mean, I guess the end result isn't surprising, even if the methodology is. We have reports from both the Washington Post and the New York Times saying that the FBI and ICE are using photos from states' driver's license databases for their facial recognition systems. Around 641 million photos from 21 states have been used. And I think the most surprising part about this is they're not supposed to? I mean, this may be the Mandela effect going on here, but in all the years that I've watched CSI and NCIS and spin-offs of all shapes and sizes, haven't I seen investigators running facial recognition matches to the DMV before? Because I swear I have, though a quick search of YouTube was fruitless. Maybe the difference is now that FBI is referring to their facial recognition system that works in real time to ID you while you're out in a public space, as opposed to running facial recognition of a photo from a crime scene or something. But whatever the case, Congress is not happy about it. Representative Jim Jordan, the ranking Republican from the House Oversight and Reform Committee, said, quote, "No individual signed off on that when they renewed their driver's license or got their driver's licenses. They didn't sign any waiver saying, oh, it's okay to turn over my information, my photo, over to the FBI. No elected officials voted for that to happen. Personally, I just assumed my photo taken for my driver's license would be used for something like that, but the problem here doesn't seem to be access to DMV databases. The problem might be with the fact that this is facial recognition. These days, public facial recognition systems that are pulling in images from a video feed and comparing them to a database are wildly inaccurate, with failure rates up to 80% and more. And when your technology performs below the Mendoza line, you know you have problems. That's a baseball reference, by the way. But the funny thing here is that the DMV, or whatever you happen to call your state facility that issues driver's licenses, we call ours the DMV, anyway, they've been using facial recognition for years themselves. The main difference here is that the DMV is using it for internal comparisons between its own database to prevent people from getting multiple fake IDs. Basically, when they take your photo for your driver's license, they use facial recognition technology to compare that photo to the rest of the photos in the database to make sure there's only one of you in there. My research found information on that as far back as 2017. But that's the key difference here. That's all keeping it in the family. The DMV isn't sharing that database with other agencies. I mean, I always assumed they would, but it turns out they're not, which is nice. Unexpected, but nice. The bottom line here is that dropping a camera at an airport to scan and detect bad guys just doesn't work yet. So in the meantime, there's no reason why state agencies should be giving over a crap ton of data to federal agencies. If the FBI wants to build a photo database of bad guys, they're gonna have to do it themselves. So they're just gonna have to take their ball and go home. And in the meantime, we're gonna head into the roundup! The Sony Xperia 1 Skinny Edition is out now, and Android Authority's review gives it some high marks. I was kidding about the Skinny Edition part of that, by the way, but I gave it that name due to the phone's 21:9 aspect ratio, making the phone very tall and, yes, very skinny. But with a 4K screen, triple camera setup, and a hardware camera button, hello Lumia phones, this phone definitely stands out from its competitors. Now, about that $1,000 price tag. Speaking of Android Authority, Robert Trigg sat down with Bluetooth Special Interest Group's Senior Director of Market Development, Chuck Sabin, and Chuck outlined some interesting things coming later this year to the next generation of Bluetooth headsets. First of all, Sabin noted that Bluetooth headphones account for about 50% of headphone purchases today, and on top of that, most wired headset purchases are wired headsets that are coming along with the real thing that was bought, like a phone. When it comes to buying headphones, Bluetooth is killing it. And later this year, Bluetooth SIG will announce standards including higher audio quality, lower latency, as well as multi-channel support. What this means is Bluetooth headphones and speakers will get better audio with no noticeable lag and will have the ability to replace your home stereo speakers. All of which is awesome, but I'll believe it when I see it, or hear it, as the case may be. Bixby is Samsung's latest and very late attempt at a virtual assistant, and it's frequently only launched by accident. So an Android developer, whose name is mispronounced Darpan Didia, published instructions on how to completely remove Bixby from your Samsung device, and we thank you, Darpan. Wired has an opinion piece on the future of 5G and the use of millimeter wave technology, laying out concerns that the future of millimeter wave technology isn't going to be a great future unless you happen to live in a highly congested urban environment. And that's absolutely true. Having tested millimeter wave tech downtown, I can absolutely confirm that it's capable of mind-blowing speeds, but only under very specific and strict conditions. Mid-band 5G, like what Sprint is rolling out, and by the way, I'll be testing that myself this coming Thursday, so stay tuned for that, might be a better place to focus 5G efforts simply because it'll be capable of covering people in wider areas or, inside or more than 300 feet away from a transmitter. What I think is going to be critical will be getting several layers of 5G tech out there so that we can get the mid-band coverage, but also be able to take advantage of the millimeter wave tech when it's available. I'll have more on this by the end of the week. Google is testing a much-needed feature by adding a play or pause button to the toolbar in Google Chrome. You may not have noticed this, but Chrome has a toolbar. I never use mine, but if this feature ever comes out of beta, you can bet I'll start. Maybe. The button would allow you to start or stop music or videos playing in a Chrome tab that you can never find when you're trying to figure out where that stupid music is coming from while you're trying to edit a podcast. So it'll be handy. And finally, Amazon is seeking permission from the U.S. government to launch 3,236 satellites into low Earth orbit in an effort to bring internet to the masses. Thus far, the U.S. has approved almost 13,000 satellites, so what's another 3,000 between friends, right? I mean, look, okay, I know there's a lot of sky up there, but filling it up with 16,000 flying boxes doesn't sound like a very good idea to me. This makes me think back to that story we had a few weeks back where people were legitimately wondering what will happen to astronomy when telescopes keep getting little boxes flying past them, let alone spacecraft who are going to have to play dodgeball when launching. Good times ahead, huh? Good times. So that's going to do it for today's Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on Digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about DigitDailyPod.com. Once again, I'm Adam Dowd, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again tomorrow.